So how many of you know in detail the life of President Barack Obama? No one? Okay. So I believe that as citizens of the United States, we all should know a little bit about the background and about the life of the man that is in charge of our country. And for myself, I voted for Barack Obama in this past election. So after this, I became interested in his career, and I think that he has an interesting life. And I believe that he can connect to many of us here today. Okay, so today I will talk to you about his life. First, I'm going to talk to you about his childhood. Then I'm going to talk about his college life and his adult life. And lastly, I'm going to talk about how he went into politics and his life as president. So first, I'm going to talk about his childhood. So Barack Obama was born as Barack Hussein Obama on August 4th, 1961. He was born in Honolulu, Hawaii. His mother's name was Anne Dunham. Anne Dunham was an American woman who was born and raised in Wichita, Kansas. And after World War II, Anne and her family, they relocated to several locations, and finally they landed in Hawaii. And Barack Obama's dad is named Barack Obama Sr., and he was born and raised in Kenya, Africa. And all his life, he just worked herding goats. And but he always wished that he could get an education. And finally, he got a scholarship to go to study to Hawaii. And so he went to Hawaii. And both of his parents, they studied in the University of Hawaii. And while they were studying there, they met and they fell in love. And they got married on February 2nd, 1961. And then a few months later, Obama was born. So when he was 2 years old, his father decided to pursue his professional career. So he went to Harvard University. And during this time, his parents got separated. They got divorced. So Obama lost contact with his dad, so they didn't have a lot of contact. So after this, his mother, she remarried to an Indonesian man. His name was Lolo Soetoro. And so they decided to go live to Indonesia, where a few years later, his stepsister Maya, she was born. So Obama, he lived and he went to school in Indonesia until he was 10. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so once when he was 10, his mother thought that it was too dangerous for him to stay in Indonesia, so she sent him back to his grandparents in Hawaii. So while in Hawaii, Obama attended Punahou Academy, where he was a brilliant student. He was always in the high honors. But Obama, he suffered because he was the only African American student in that school. So, and I found an interesting quote on the website biography.com where Obama stated, "I began to notice that there was nobody like me in the Sears Roebuck Christmas catalog, and the Santa was a white man." And so by this, you can see that he suffered a lot because he was only African American student. And then Obama's life, it was impacted when his father died. He died in 1982, and Obama, he had only seen him once, and that was this time. And so he didn't really have any contact with his father. Okay, so now that I have talked a little bit about his childhood, now I am going to talk about his college life and his adult life. So Obama graduated from high school. So here he is in high school, and that's his senior portrait, and here's his graduation. So he graduated with high honors. He was always a good student. And then he moved here to Los Angeles to go to Occidental College. He attended Occidental College for 2 years. And he then transferred to Columbia University in New York City, where he pursued his bachelor's degree in political science. And according to the website whitehouse.gov, after graduating from Columbia, he moved to Chicago to help. He worked helping low-income families. And during this time also, he made his first visit to Kenya to visit his father's side of the family. and to oh, and also to visit his dad's grave. Um, okay, so then in 1988, he went into Harvard Law School. So there, so he was in Harvard Law School, and a year later he met Michelle Robinson, who is now Michelle Obama, and here's how they met. So he went to he had a summer internship program at a Chicago law firm, and she was his advisor. So that's how they met, and then after they started dating. And does anyone want to guess where was their first kiss? Huh? No. Their first kiss was in front of a shopping center in Chicago, and actually they have this plaque in front of that shopping center where it says that right there was their first kiss. So then they dated and they got married in 1992, and then they had two daughters. Malia was born in 1998, and Sasha was born in 2001. Okay, so now that I have talked about his college and adult life, now I will talk about his life in the politics. So according to information I found in notable biographies, so Obama went into politics in 1996, where he started as in the Senate of Illinois, and in 2000 he ran for the House of Representatives, but he lost to that. And in 2004 he ran for the Senate, and he won. And in 2007 he surprised everyone when he decided to run for the Democratic Party nomination for the presidential election. And on June 3rd, 2008, he won Hillary Clinton, so he became the nominee for the Democratic Party. And so he ran for president, and on November 4th, 2008, he won John McCain with a 52.9%. And so he made history, and scholar in 2011, the scholar Peter Coelho, he stated that Obama rejects colorblindness as a fact in the present, yet gestures is better history. So he has made he has been like a very memorable, like a president that has made a lot of history. So I hope that today you guys learned a little bit about his interesting life. And first you guys learned about his childhood, then you guys learned about his college and life, and then you guys learned about his political life. So even though Obama may not be everyone's favorite president, he has been a president who has made he has changed history forever. And I just decided to end this with one of his most powerful quotes that he said, which is, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we see."